I wanted to make a quick guide here on how I lane as Victor and what might help y'all. This has been working pretty steadily for me in Ascendant, and hopefully it is helpful for y'all. If you want more videos like this, let me know down below or come swing by the Discord. I also do game analysis and reviews to help you with macro or micro decisions in your games. So I think there are kind of three main ways to play Victor in laning phase, at least in the current meta. You basically need to be aggressive or aggressive or be a turtle cautious. Basically go turtle mode. So you really don't want to do the last one, which we'll get to at the end. But mainly, like I said, you want to really kind of aim for being aggressive to make space for your lane partner, and to keep the pressure up. And then if they're being aggressive, you need to match their pressure that they're applying and be aggressive with them. And that's when you come aggressive. And then also whenever you're actually trying to push and capture, or whenever you're trying to push and destroy the Guardian, that's the other time that you want to be aggressive, especially once you have reanimate. When you have reanimate, you can actually get so much more space in your lane. Whenever you need to be turtle is really kind of like if you're being extremely hard pressured and you're not being able to make space, whether from your lane partner or from just being constantly super low health as Victor, because you can recover pretty quickly if you have the right items, especially with jumpstart. But otherwise, it's really hard to if you're being really pressured and you have to kind of like be on the defensive side. It's really hard to lane with Victor at that and kind of recover, especially because Victor really needs to kind of capitalize on getting the most souls in the lobby, or as much as he can to basically be a raid boss for the lobby. And the other thing that you kind of need to be like eternal mode and really just kind of stall. Like if you end up having to do turtle mode, your objective then at that time is to really just make it till something happens in the other lanes for somebody else to rotate. That's kind of the thing at that point. Or if at the worst case you have to give up your lane, and then someone, whether you or your lane partner, will end up solo laning from there. Then what would cause that from another situation is if you end up going against like a lot of high mobility characters such as Lash and Vindicta, or Vindicta Talon, someone that can constantly stay up in the air. Here we are fighting Lena. Here we are fighting Lash and Mina, but thankfully they weren't as mobile as they kind of could have been, so that actually let me and allowed me to be pretty aggressive to keep the pressure up, while Hayes was able to, you know, apply damage or do her farming that she needed to do as well. As for abilities, what I find kind of the best here, and so like as soon as we shove that wave, you'll see here that I kind of rotating, since I haven't bought yet, so I'm buying, and then also going to try to get a couple of small close nearby boxes that I can before this wave, so I can come back to it and you know, keep the pressure up with it. And if you look on my map, you can see how Hayes is over there doing boxes as well, but I get back in time that I can come back and make sure that we're keeping pressure up here from our minions, and I'm kind of trying to keep our minions alive as well. And now that I have aura, I can actually start being in their face a little bit more. But what I kind of like to do point wise is doing battery, then jumpstart and aura, at least given the current, you know, balance that he has along with his abilities. And then during laning phase, I'll either max battery or I'll max jumpstart. If I need to like cleanse a lot of debuffs, like if it's in a furnace or mirage, I'll actually end up getting jumpstart and max that first, just because of the debuff remover that it has built into it. Otherwise, I really like making battery a tier 5 first because of the lifesteal that it offers. And you saw there that my Haze was being really pressured, so I came over here to really shove into their face. Once I saw Mina though, I kind of backed off because I'm watching my Haze's health too during this and see that she's not fully up to snuff to contest. And so now that I can move in here, now that both my jump starts are available. So playing around your jump start, because the lower the health that you are, whenever you do jump start, you lose less health, or sorry, you'll gain more health. So like if you jump start whenever you're closer, you know, over 50% health, you know, it'll cost more to actually use it. And then the lower the health, like if you're under like 30% or even 20% and you jumpstart, you'll gain a lot more value out of jumpstart. So playing around that is kind of what I've been doing whenever you jumpstart. and keeping the pressure, like I said, with ore and mixing jumpstart in between, that really helps out. So I move as soon as we shove that wave in there. I tell my Haze that I'm going to go get the buff. So I immediately, like, I don't even stay for the next wave, like for that last one or two minion, and then I just literally launched over there just to get the buff. And actually, thankfully, it was a spirit casting buff, which, you know, it's not as good as fortitude for Victor, but it still helps out quite a bit during this phase. I will use jumpstart as well for the momentum speed. So, you know, the tier 1 of it gives you movement speed. So I'll use jumpstart at times to help close the gap a little bit quicker. And battery does a lot of damage early phase. Actually, jumpstart does a lot of, sorry, battery does a lot of damage in general. So you want to really try to weave in your batteries as soon as you get them, because if you hold it and you're not really using it, you're missing out a lot of damage. And eventually, whenever you have maxed out, it heals you so much. So I pushed up at this one because I was telling Haze that once this next wave came in, since we had our spirit buff, I actually really wanted to shove it in the face. So that's the really strong thing with Victor is his reanimate. Whenever you have that up, it allows you so much options to contest. So you'll see there that the reason why I went up there, I died technically, but that's because I had reanimate. So it lets you create so much, and that's what I was talking about, being aggressive. So once that wave was up here, like I said, I told Haze that I was like, I want to push this. I have reanimate. I had the spirit buff. I don't have torment pulse, but you still have really great items. So I was like, I'm ready to do this. So I'm shoving it up here, and that's when you need to be aggressive. Unfortunately, Haze did get death slammed and got lashed. So that was one thing as well that we kind of had to watch out for. But thankfully, he didn't use it whenever we dove with the Guardian. And this is kind of what I was talking about. Like you have to be kind of aggressive and keep that you really have to keep that pressure up. So she got back just in time because Mina was really pressuring me there. Thankfully, that heavy melee connected, but so you really don't want to be like passive, turtling passive with him as much as if you can avoid it, because you really have to just keep the pressure up constantly with Victor, and you can do a lot more than you may think of. Like even here, I'm actually probably being a little passive, or rather I think I'm being a little passive because I'm thinking of Mina coming back, and she did come back, and that's why I died. But I was at least aware of her because you have speed buff when you come back. And that's kind of what I was afraid of, and that is what happened there. So since the centers are up, one of the things that we need to really kind of do here is try to clear this wave quicker, so that we, whether both of us or one of us, can for sure go get centers and boxes or minions from there. So that's why I'm not even staying there with that lane, as I backed off from it. And I told Haze about the centers on the right. So while she's doing that, I'm keeping the pressure here instead. I have Torment Pulse here now, so that lets us actually clear things a little bit quicker. But I'm not being too aggressive at the moment either, because I don't know where Lash is, and Lash does have his Death Slam, so I got to kind of be mindful of that. So since Haze is there now, I tell her, and after that wave is done, I'm gonna go get the center, so that's what I'm doing over here now, and she's the one that can solo soak that lane and deal with the minion wave on that one, while I kind of do some little mini farming as well and weave it in and out these neutrals while that wave is being pressured from her, so that I can also get some souls to not fall behind and to take advantage of the centers, since the centers are just so strong. So now that I have reanimation back up as well, and I have quite a bit of souls with either Torment Pulse or whatever, that lets us actually be a little bit more aggressive. So I saw Lash obviously there, saw it hurt him. So I went over there to try to punish him. And then since he's kind of was missing at the moment, I tell Haze, and then we can kind of really be aggressive with this and really kind of go in and hopefully take advantage of taking the Guardian. I thought she was gonna punch there. Again, you can see I'm kind of providing cover for Hayes over there, and since was making sure she was okay, and like I said, since I now have reanimation, and especially since Last isn't here, I can just be way more aggressive than I really can normally could be, and that lets us take the Guardian. And thankfully, there is a sweet fortitude buff that I can take advantage of. So yeah, that's kind of roughly what I do while I'm playing with Victor. If you want to see a different point of view, that how I play him from either Falling Behind or a different matchup, let me know and I can make a video or guide of that as well and kind of to walk through my process. Or if you want a full game breakdown of at least how I play Victor, definitely let me know. Lastly, before we go, I wanted to at least show you the build that I kind of use, which is my own version of it, but it is a build based off of Lomaine's version of Listic. So if you don't really know where to start, I would advise, I would recommend starting at least with Lomaine's, which took it from Listic. But this build has been really great on, you know, basically in most of my games, following something very similar. Like I said, I kind of use my own version of it. The biggest thing that I change is I like to kind of have a little bit of the priority of the order that I buy. So the first row is normally left to right that I at least follow as much as I can be, with of course being some dynamics in there. But the big thing that they don't do that I do, and maybe it's just because I haven't really seen the downsides and experimentation that they may have done with theirs, but I actually like throwing Surge of Power on Jumpstart, mainly because of the move speed that it offers with the fire rate. I think it really helps with chasing down people with aura, along with the native Jumpstart movement speed that it has. And the extra healing is definitely nice that it offers whenever you get it, but whenever, so right now you can see 100, and whenever you jump it in there, you can see it's 185, and then if you had it max, it's 235 compared to 150. And of course that would scale as you have more spirit. But like I said, the main reason why I like it is a combination of the buffs that Surge of Power offers. Of course, if they have capacitor, it kind of ruins it, but playing around it I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. So I like using that compared to what they do. And then from there, once I get down to the, I guess I just ignore the names, I haven't really changed them and then compared to theirs. But once I basically get down here, sometimes I'll skip Rapid, sometimes I'll get it. Ethereal E-Shift is still as strong as it is, even with the nerfs that it has. Once you get trans cooldown, it's still like 24 seconds roughly, right? Sorry, 32 seconds, but it still feels like you still feel invincible from there. And then if the enemy team doesn't have capacitor or big if or any other items in the future that removes debuffs, Infuser is super OP on Victor. Otherwise, you would want to get Leech, but Infuser is phenomenal for staying alive. And then from there, I'll either just sometimes, like at this part of the game, like just because of how expensive it is, I don't normally super like get as much as I would like to from there, because at that time there's a lot of tier 4s that he could take advantage of. And if I need to, I'll skip some of these stuff and like just go straight for refresher if I need reanimate. Hope you find this helpful and let me know about it if you like it. Thanks.